Since the beginning of the game, Minecrafters have had one big problem, and that problem is resource gathering. You have this big project in mind, but spend just as much time gathering materials as you do actually building the thing. And as I begin my candy factory megabase, I need to do something to solve this issue. Now, rocks like stone, granite, or terracotta are needed in pretty much every build, and thankfully, a large majority of them can be produced using many different types of farms. So to tackle this issue of resource gathering, I'm going to make a massive machine able to farm infinite amounts of as many types of stone as possible. This is going to be my biggest redstone project yet, so why don't we go ahead and get started. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the AfterLife SMP. My name is KashMuney, and this is episode 15. Last episode, we started our mega base, and as you can see by this very expensive wireframe, we have a lot going on. For those who don't know, this is going to be a candy factory set in the Candyland aesthetic, but we are not working on the I can't fly. But we're not working on the aesthetics today. We are going to be working on the actual factory part of it. Like we said already, I want to farm as many kinds of stone as I can and do that inside this factory, which I think will be super, super cool. But I guess a good question is, what is actually farmable? And for that, I already put together a shulker box. All of these types of stone are farmable. The only major ones that are not farmable are tuff, deep slate, and sand. So this is what we are going to farm today. And in fact, we already have a couple of these. We made our massive piglin bartering farm and gold farm. And for that, we already have infinite gravel and blackstone. Now, what we need to do today is to create some farms to get some basic resources and then have different modules to convert those into our final products. For example, make a cobblestone generator and then combine that with quartz to get some diorite. I hope that wasn't too much information, but let's get working on this. And actually, if we're going to be trying to fit a ton of farms into this small section of our base, then we're going to pop over to creative. Okay, so here we are on a creative copy of our mega base, and I have some ideas for this place. I want to have a sort of control room up here, a place where we can access all of our resources, send orders to our machine below to manufacture a certain amount of our stone. Of course, we're going to make this look nice eventually, but for now, we really don't need much. Proof of concept builds will get beautified once their concept has been proven. Maybe we just have a big output chest for all of our resources, and then on the sides, we can have like extra double chests for anything that spills over. But anyways, then we have a dropping system. We can just have a little sort of auto dispensing system. That should make it nice and easy to send our orders down to the machine. And if we were to test this out by just placing some redstone in here, it gets drained out. And yep, we hear it drop down. Perfect. Then we can run some glass chutes down that will eventually hook up with our machine. And then below is where it gets complicated. For our machine, I was thinking there could be a couple parts. First is going to be a TNT blast chamber that will destroy stone generated by a stone generator, a basalt generator, and a clay farm. Then those resources will get siphoned down, taken into like a storage system down here, and then we can do what we need to with that. Basically, it's just going to be a bunch of little modules that kind of sync up with one another. So to start, we can make our blast chamber. Of course, we need to make it out of something that is going to contain our explosion, because if TNT goes off in this build, it's going to blow it up, and we don't want that. A decent sized box like this should work, I'll say, and then we can just have a little collection hopper in the middle and some water streams along the edges. We then need to make our TNT duper at the top, which surprisingly, I've never made one of these before. However, I have full confidence in our ability to make this work, so if we just flip this, it doesn't work because I had the wrong pistons. Oh wait, there we go, it worked. Oh, that just fell through. Okay, that's okay. Well, this doesn't work how I thought it would, but that's okay. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, well, I guess if we're gonna have our issues, we should have them right now. That way we don't blow everything up later. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. Then we need to make our generators, which like we said, we want the cobblestone, the basalt, and the clay. Now, have I made either of these before? No, but we're gonna figure it out. So we're gonna want flowing lava and flowing water on either side. And then if we just destroy, okay, here we go. So, wait, no, look at that, we're experts. Anyway, we'll then have a set of pistons to pick this cobblestone up. We can have an observer and have a set of pistons to push that cobblestone over. And eventually when it gets over here, we push it down into the blast chamber. At least theoretically, that's what's supposed to happen. If we just turn that on, it does not work. Wait, we gotta have an activator for these line of pistons first. Okay. So, as I was saying, if we destroyed this... Oh my gosh. I have an idea. Okay, it is working. This is really good to see. Well, if we make this TNT duper the correct way, and then just have a system that will activate it every once in a while. Does this in fact work? Let's see. The duper broke. Oh no, the TNT duper blew itself up. Oh no, everything just blew up. No, okay. Okay, so theoretically it works this time. Theoretically, of course. We'll see if it actually works. Oop, I think there's just a little bit too much TNT, but this farm is working. Then we have our basalt farm to make on the other side, which should just be pretty much a copy of this, although we do need to move our TNT duper upward. Voila. And then we just need to clone this entire mess to the other side. So to actually make it, we need some blue ice, some soul soil, and some lava. The soul soil underneath the blue ice opposite the lava, and then our lava. And if everything is done right, yeah, we get it generating just like that. Otherwise, if we just activate this system real quick, yeah, we get some basalt generating and it will be pushed into our system. Perfect. So making our clay farm is pretty simple in concept at least. So we just need a block of stone with a piece of pointed dripstone on the bottom, a piece of dirt that has been converted to mud, then this should convert to clay relatively quickly at least. There we go, look at that. That's the concept. We'll place our dirt, convert that to mud, run it over some platforms with some pointed dripstone, and push our clay into the blast chamber. So we'll just need to make a series of platforms, each with a row of pistons. That'll be pushing our mud clay mixture from below all the way up into our blast chamber. The more drying platforms we have, the more clay we're gonna get. I don't wanna make this too big, so I think we're gonna call 4.5 platforms enough, but we'll have to see. But we do need to create a dirt converting system, and for that, I'm going to be using Jackson Wild's design. As always, you can find the link to that in the description. And if we just test this out, yep, it's working. We're getting all of our mud converted. Then on the other side, we just need to time our push systems so that every block gets moved up in a synchronous manner. So I keep having this issue where I try and power these pistons, and they will get stuck in an open position sometimes. But I was Googling it, and it said it's due to quasi-connectivity. I've always heard that phrase, and now I finally see it in action. Oh yeah, there it is. Look, quasi-connectivity. It won't unextend. Quasi-connectivity is a nightmare to deal with. I don't really understand it, but I think I got this thing working. And it looks like the mud is converting, so that is good to see. You might notice that we have intersecting lines between our cobble farm and this down here, and that's okay. We're not going to have both of these systems running at once. We should only have them one at a time, so we should be fine. Now, an important criteria for this entire build is that every resource is completely renewable. And, well, we need dirt for this farm, which dirt is not renewable by itself, but if we convert dirt and gravel into coarse dirt and then hoe that, we can get dirt back. So therefore, with infinite gravel, we can get infinite dirt. So we need to just make a quick coarse dirt to dirt converter. Whoa. Which this should be all the redstone we need. Yeah, we can just stand here and let it convert, and then that will go into our chamber and eventually get blown up. That is perfect. Well, it is a new day and I feel like I'm gonna blow this up again. So now we need to get started on the actual machine part, how we're going to take an order from our above and turn that into an output. And I'll be honest, I don't really know what I want to do. I think to start, we have some sort of water stream running along the middle that is going to be where our order papers get picked up and detected by our system. Just a simple item sorter, and then that in turn is going to go down to some sort of hopper clock that will activate a specific circuit for each of our blocks. Eventually we'll tune our system so that the length of time in here is going to be equal to how many stacks of blocks we need, but yeah, you get the idea. And we just copy this 8 more times, so then we have 9 modules that can each accept an order slip. And then I know we said we're going to do a water stream, but I think it's just easier to do hoppers, so that's what we're going to do. So if we were to put, say, 3 pieces of terracotta in our system, yep, there's our 3. And then it activates our system 3 times. Okay, that is perfect. Now I know we just got started on this, but we do need to actually make one more addition to this place. We need a super smelter. Now for a super smelter, I do want to be able to use it for stuff that is not just our rock machine. I want to be able to use it as a general super smelter, which means we do need to have like a entrance and exit points. Maybe, I don't know, in our tower we have a spot where we can just drop down a bunch of resources and that'll go to our super smelter, get smelted up and sent back up here. We can and will cross that bridge when we get there. We can add our loading station and our fuel station that we will be using to power our smelter with bamboo. All right then, so that is all of our basic infrastructure, and wow, there is a lot, but now we need to start doing stuff for each specific type of stone. So first of all, the most straightforward is our cobblestone, which of course we can use a specific color for. We're just going to run a signal over and then run it up to our cobble farm up there. Okay, it should just be this simple redstone right here. Although hang on, before we test that, we need to actually hook up our TNT duper to everything, which we had a system earlier, but I destroyed it. Probably not my best idea, but that's okay, we'll figure it out. If I figured it out once, I can figure it out again. Okay, so theoretically, if I did this right, everything should work perfectly. Oh, it's the first real test. Our cobblestone's flowing in. Before we know it, we should see a signal being sent up. Yep, we see it going up. Oh, I blew up the TNT duper. Okay, so theoretically, it works this time. So if we look down, we see the signal fire, it comes up, activates our system, and yes, it's working. We then just need to run our output down, adjust our timings until we get about a stack of cobblestone per activation. Okay, so we can check cobblestone off the list, and that is amazing. And then because our basalt generator is quite literally a copy of our cobblestone, then we should just be able to replicate the redstone over here, which if we just check our drops, yes, that seems to be the case. Next up is stone, and for that we need to activate our cobblestone generator and then send the products into our super smelter. Add some kind of item filter that we can pull out our cobblestone with, have a way to block the hopper when we don't actively need stone, then have a bubble column to get our items to the top. All right, let's test it out. If we put a piece of stone in there, then it should activate our blue line. Yes, we get our cobblestone generator activated, blowing stuff up, and then this will fly down into our sorter, pull it out. Yep, we see it right there. It goes into our dispenser. Of course, I should be making these correctly. That goes into our super smelter, and we get stone over here. For our smooth stone, we just add another item filter to pull stone out of our super smelter line, and of course, feed that back into our super smelter. There we go. We get our smooth stone. Perfect. Let's see, for clay, we're going to get our clay balls coming out of our blast chamber, so we need to have a sorter there. Then have an auto crafter system to convert our clay balls to clay blocks. And does that just start crafting? Yes, it does. Good. I wasn't sure if that was going to work. And then have a little system that will let our clay blocks out as we need them. Because our clay farm manual, we're going to have to stock it up before we can actually pull resources from it, but still, not bad. Thankfully, terracotta is going to be even easier. We just have to send our clay over to our smelter. And because it's the same system, the timing should be the same. Turn up the tick rate because I'm feeling impatient. Put that into our system. Oh my gosh. There we go. Perfect. Then we need to craft our diorite and our andesite, which are probably the hardest. And let me show you why. If we just take a crafting table, you can create diorite by doing 2 diagonal cobblestone and 2 diagonal quartz, just like that. And then andesite is 2 diagonal cobblestone and 2 diagonal diorite. Oh, wait, no, it's just one of each like that. Okay. Well, that's a bit easier. All we really need to do is activate our cobblestone generator, and then we have an item filter that pulls our cobblestone out of our blast chamber, sends that down along some sort of hopper path, a very long hopper path, over to here, where we have our crafting system that should turn our raw resources into diorite. Let's test it. Well, it turns out that system was a complete failure. I had to completely redesign it, and we have a new system. But if we just look right here, we have our auto crafter system firing, and we're getting diorite being produced. Also, I figured something out. You can make granite? You can craft it? What? I had no idea this was a thing. Like, zero clue. Okay, I guess we need to add another stone to the system. I don't think there's room, so something has to go, and that's going to be our clay. Thankfully, that is a pretty simple system to make. I can't believe I didn't know about this recipe, though. That is just blows my mind. I've been playing Minecraft for 7 years. And then lastly, we have our andesite module. There we go. And then finally, we add 2 systems for our blackstone and our gravel with appropriate colors of wool and not too bad redstone. You know, I have to say, after completing all this, it's really quite simple. I know how it works, but it's a complete disaster of redstone. But hey, if it works, it works. I think we should be good. Like, we can just put in what kind of stones we want, and then we will get a stack of stone to come out of that. And what do you know? We see that right there. Perfect. Then we can just have a little spot for our super smelter input. And there we go. Because I'm impatient, we can turn up the tick speed really high. And if we just put all this in here, we should get our glass back. Well, this thing's ready to ship over. Let's go back to survival. Okay, here we are. And let's see how our schematic looks. You know, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. We need 7 stacks of hoppers, probably 2 stacks of redstone blocks. I mean, this sure as heck isn't cheap, but it's doable. I'll be honest, everything I can get with time, the only thing that is going to be hard is iron. Okay, I have a ton of iron blocks. We're good. Okay, this is all very doable because I have the infrastructure to support my crazy ideas. Our villagers ensure we can get our 27 stacks of redstone dust pretty easily. Our starter farms have all the wool we might need. You know, our gold farm has been saving me because I need 10 stacks of granite obsidian, and it's really not that much to ask for. However, I should stack up on blackstone and gravel that we can input into our system later. We should probably get our quartz too. I do love my crazy over-the-top ideas, but I am very thankful they feed into one another. Makes life a whole lot easier when you don't have to spend hours resource gathering. Do lots and lots of crafting and have all of our materials, and that means we get to start our farm. We have to dig out this entire area and then build up our machine. So let's see how this goes. Roll that time lapse. Now, if you've been paying attention, there's one type of stone missing, and that is dripstone. You can trade it with villagers, and I was going to do it that way, but I was also going to trade granite with villagers, and now that I know I can craft it, like, I don't need them from the villagers, so we're just going to make a quick dripstone farm. I don't think there's room to hook it up in the system, but we can just make a little something like right here or whatever. Now, I can't say I've made one of these before, but I also don't think it can be that hard, so I feel pretty confident in my abilities. It's kind of like a reverse sugarcane farm. We have the water at the top, then our product, and then our collection system. This doesn't need to be big. I don't really build a dripstone, and this will just run passively. But anyways, the last thing to do is to go around and add the papers to our system. Make sure that our sorting systems are working. That way we can actually get our product when we add in an order slip. Otherwise, the system is up and running. It's easier if we just go into free cam. This thing is so hard to navigate. I can't believe that we got this built. This is like such a redstone monstrosity. I have never built anything a quarter of this size. So just seeing it all come together, all completely custom. This looks like something Mumbo Jumbo would do, and yet no, it was me, KashMuney. Of course, we need to make sure it works, so if we just start simple with a stack of cobblestone, we can hear our TNT blaster going, presumably our cobblestone generator, and we see it pop up here. Perfect. Okay, let's give it a bigger test. How's this? We have a stack of granite, diorite, terracotta, gravel, and blackstone, and 2 stacks of stone. Let's see if we get all of our stuff. Let's take a look, and oh my gosh, we have it all. We have our terracotta, granite, diorite, gravel, blackstone, and 2 stacks of stone. It's not perfect numbers, but hey, I don't need perfect numbers when I'm building. I just want to get this for free. Oh, I'm just so happy. If you did see in that time lapse, I had some help. All Out J and Ash's Den were a huge help in getting this put together. Genuinely, this would have taken me like 8 hours to construct, but with them, it was just like 2 hours and a ton of fun. And it's going to set us up so well when we start working on the mega base. We'll have our resources required to build it. Of course, our base is going to be very bright and colorful, but this gives us a very solid foundation. I'm just so excited. Another KashMuney idea brought to life. Very proud of it. Very happy. And who knows, maybe we'll sell our order slips, give people a reason to come visit my base and get whatever resources they might need. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know if you learned something new. I definitely learned a lot of new things while working with this. Of course, this is a completely custom design, so if you are interested in it, then be sure to like this video. If we get to 100 likes, I will share the schematic download. But as always, thank you all so much for watching. I can't wait to see how this mega base comes to life. And anyways, thank you so much, and have a great day.
Yeah, that's fine. Cash! You're so mean.
Wait, did you not fall?
No, I fell. I'm just up again.
Oh, you got... How'd you get up so fast? Was there...
I flew. I
didn't even hear you. No!
I'm like, give me back. You shall not win this time.
No.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Stop, Cash.
No, wait.
I think I broke a shelf. Wait, I'm in here now. Wait.
No.
Oh! Oh! Oh my God! Cash!